Arnold, who's the head of the Bike Federation in Connecticut, and he was quite right. They're excellent. They will fix you up with a bike touring company in Europe. And there are dozens and dozens of bike tours in all European countries and elsewhere. They'll send you off alone or with a group, as Joni mentioned. If you go with a group, it's more expensive. With a leader, if you go alone, it's several $100s cheaper. And we are cheap travelers. We believe, as the French used to say, that only fools and Americans go first class. So we go third class, and we eat a lot of pizza overseas. The cost of the trips varies considerably. The one on the Elbe, which is the one I'll show you first, was about a third the cost of the one we did in Italy last summer. And that depends on how much care and feeding they give you on the trip. Some trips will provide you with a place to stay and meals. The Italian trip did not for us, so it's probably a good idea to check out the cost if that is a concern for you before you sign up. Clothing is another issue. Dressing for rain worries people. We don't really like biking in the rain, but it happens. And it's perfectly possible to do it safely. We take Vortex with hoods and down here and wear those, and we're quite comfortable with those. And then nylon underwear is good so you can miss out quickly and not be burdened with laundry. I originally thought that these tight bike shorts that people wear were just an affectation. And then I got myself a real bad set of saddle sores on my behind, and I realized that that was because I was wearing underwear with seams in it. And the bike shorts are very good for running, and they padded, they protect you. And if you get a little sore, there are all kinds of lubricants that you can put in your pants. Just butter and jello and jelly. So there's a lot of that available. Let's see, languages. We're comfortable in a couple of the languages in Europe. We're not so comfortable in others. But in Italy, which, we can say how much does it cost and that sort of thing. We can say Berlusconi now. But in Italy, not speaking the language, we found that the Italians were extremely friendly and helpful. There's nothing like getting lost in a foreign country. People come out to help you in droves. It's simply wonderful. Great way to meet the natives. And so language has not been a problem. If I were going to Eastern Europe, I would definitely go on a tour and not just us. So those are a few little logistical considerations. Specific training, just keep biking a lot and you'll be in good shape. That's pretty much my introduction. I would stop for a minute and take questions in case I left anything out about how you've arranged these trips. I can, yes?
You did your own bikes?
Oh, no. You can if you want to, but as Joni said, the tour companies provide you, maybe she didn't, but they provide you with sort of heavy framed bikes, but they're not too heavy. They're not balloon tire, they're in between tire size. Some of them will give you helmets if you need them, but we've taken our own helmets on occasion. And they give you a water bottle with their logo on it. And that's it. The bikes they give you are excellent. In Italy, we had Bianchis. And in Germany, we had some that were made in Holland. I forget the name, but they're good, solid bikes. They're not too heavy for what you do. In terms of the difficulty of the trips, we sort of joke about our trip through Italy last summer because it was really uphill and downhill. We discovered, I did some research and discovered that we had bicycled uphill as much as if we had climbed Pikes Peak on bicycles. And we knew something like that was happening. But that was really, was it more than we want to do again? I don't know.
It was hefty.
We were pretty close to the maximum exercise level.
There are lots of other great places to bike.
Yeah. It's a good idea to find a nice river because they flow downhill and bicycle along the river. So I'm just going to, I think I'll put the mic down if you can hear me all right. And we want to show you some pictures of our 4 different trips. Any other questions right now? Oh, one other question that you might have in mind actually is that I'm a cardiologist, and I think about whether people can exercise safely. I originated a cardiac rehab program. I've been exercising people after heart attacks for many years, and you can do it safely. If you have certain predictors of a problem, you probably should see your doctor or have a stress test before you go. Those predictors would be, let's say, poorly controlled diabetes, thanks to poorly controlled diabetes, poorly controlled hypertension, obesity, but not too many others. My wife is a dermatologist. We think a lot about the effects of aging, and we're both very comfortable being in our 70s and going to all right times. It's no big deal as long as we're in shape. So we're going to take you on, yes?
What happens if you have a breakdown? Is there any support that's regular?
That's really neat on these trips. We'll show you an example of a breakdown, but the tour companies provide you with a place to stay. They often give you meals. They transport your luggage, so all you have is your day stuff with you in your saddlebags. And if you have a breakdown, it varies between the companies. Some of them, if you have a breakdown, they will tell you on your cell phone where the nearest bike shop is. You can go there. If you have a flat, you're supposed to fix it yourself. I don't know how to fix a flat, so we have to invent something. And that's about it. If you really get in trouble, there's a guy with a van or a wagon that will come and rescue you. But you're really covered. And we found that part very smooth. These folks show up with their luggage and they find nice accommodations and it's really enjoyable.
There are different choices when you're planning your trip. Elder Hostel, of course, took care of everything. There was a van that was driving parallel to us. But if you plan your trip independently, the company will say, do you want van support? So not only, we call them Bicycle Man. Bicycle Man arrives in the morning at your hotel, takes your luggage, and transports it to the next hotel if you're moving on that day. Sometimes you stay 2 nights in one hotel. But then you could be totally independent. So if you do have a breakdown, you need to know how to repair or elicit help from some nice person on the path. But you can be involved in a different kind of plan where there is van support. You can call and say, I've had a breakdown, and they'll come and give you a different bike or whatever is needed. So there are these different choices which you need to look into. And of course, there's a money factor. As long as I'm talking about money, I want to say one more thing, because we are really cheap. We've been camping for years and years, and so we're used to carrying backpacks. We got on the plane each time with a backpack and a rolly carry-on luggage, but very small. And on one of the trips, I even took bread from home and a couple of blocks of Kraft cheese or Colby cheese. Keeps very well. And so for the first few days of our trip, just in case we didn't have an opportunity to shop for lunch, we had it there. We have a little picnic knife, and you always find some place to stop and get orange juice or coffee on the way. Very often, just tootling along on a bicycle path, you come to a little cafe, particularly in Germany. They're just there, and it's just so nice. And you indicate to the people that own these little shops, we have our own food. May we just buy coffee or juice? And they say, sure. And they have tables and chairs. So, but there are people who consider a trip abroad to include buying lunch. That's of interest to some people. It just doesn't have to be our style. But everybody can plan their trips in their own ways. And then it's fun to stop at shops and buy